How's everybody doing? Well, I figure you might want to get a little view of my day off, at least one of my days off. If I can make it back to the house without ending up flattened in the road, that would be nice. So how are you doing today? I'm glad to make a video, and I hope you had a good season. You know, you've had some time off, you've had your holidays, and if you're on the carnivore diet, hopefully you haven't been too tempted by the duck food. We know the duck food is always lurking, waiting to pull you down into the ditch so you can be waddling and quacking like the rest of them. Well, let's see here. Okay, traffic isn't too bad. Anyway, so it's been a while. So anyway, what I'm going to try to do is explain some of the things that I have planned for next year. 2025 isn't that far away. And I can tell you right now, I got a good feeling about it. Considering how bad things have been in the last few years, it can't get any worse. Well, I shouldn't say that. I could have a heart attack. And I might, you never know. As you can see, I'm in very poor shape. I'm extremely obese, and I can barely walk out my front door. You know, that saturated fat, it's a killer. It's like my doctor told me in 1996. You have the highest cholesterol of anybody I've ever seen at 28 years old. Well, I'm still alive and still going. So, again, enough of the small talk. Let's get down to business. Now, if you take the time to watch my channel, there's a pretty good chance that you're a person who has an interest in many things. You have an interest in improving your life and most likely the lives of others. And I think those are really good goals. My biggest regret is being poor and not being able to render aid to people like I used to. When I had successful businesses, I always went out of my way to try to employ people that I knew would be a good fit. Now, obviously, this wasn't all just some kind of unselfish motive. I mean, think about it. I was looking to make money. And hiring the best talent and people that you can work with and trust, that's beneficial for everybody. That being said, some people just like to take advantage of others. I don't. Now, what can we actually do? I believe that many people basically underestimate their abilities, and then you have a few people that overestimate their worth. There seems to be two sides to this. Underestimating your abilities, that's a bad thing, because now you're limiting yourself as to what you can do. But overestimating your worth may be even worse, because you tend to think that you are a person who deserves only the best, and you're not going to settle for anything less. And that can mean, well, an opportunity that may not be perfect, you'll just ignore it because, well, I don't want to waste my time. Oh, let's see. The weather's been dry, so it's time to water. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, when I was born, this neighborhood was very rural. You had plant nurseries, you had horses, you had cattle. These homes range on anywhere from 1.25 acre to 5 acres. The lots were sold for about $900 when they were first developed. Now, I think the lot itself starts at $1 million. Crazy, right? Don't understand how it got to be so expensive, but then again, that's the way that the Federal Reserve has pumped the economy. So you go and look around, say, hey, this looks like it's full of rich people, but you don't really know. Some of these people may have a lot more debt than you think. In fact, their net worth may actually be zero because they're holding the same amount or more debt than the so-called assets they think they have. Not too bad. But when you really get to think about it, what is the actual worth of a human being? Why are some people considered to be billionaires and others are basically homeless on the street? I can show you where there's homeless people living not that far away. Less than a mile away, there's a homeless camp hidden in a county piece of property. Now here's a home they just tore down. It's a pretty nice home, but it's just not big enough for this neighborhood now. They got to build a McMansion, something huge that takes up the whole lot. There's the old church. It's still there for now. One day they'll sell it and they'll put 2 houses there, maybe 3. I think that's 2 acres, hard to say. This house you see on the corner, this was the very first of the drug houses that was built in the 1980s. This was a turning point when this neighborhood went from agricultural and rural to McMansion. And you can see they're already trying to fix it up. It sat empty for years. Okay. Oh. Now, you can see, well, I'm surprised they didn't tear it down. I guess it was still big enough where they could rehabilitate it and resell it for some outrageous price. In this entire neighborhood, there's only 1 nursery left. And it's not really a nursery. They sell materials, they use it as a place to keep equipment. This is it. There were hundreds of these in this area. This is it. That's all that's left. Strange, huh? It's kind of funny, they still have the school zone lights on, and there's no school today. Amazing. Oh well. Anyway, what I'm going to do tomorrow, I want to do a little bit of a live stream on my own. I've been guests on several live streams, but I figured let me just go in there at 8 o'clock in the morning after I've had my breakfast and see who shows up. That way I can have one-on-one conversations with some of you, which would be great. So we'll see. Anyway, if you have a question for me, I don't get too many emails, I get very few. Not too many people want to contact me because I'm a total quack. But if you do want to ask me something directly, there's your chance. If these live streams become popular, I'll try to make it a regular thing. Saturday's usually a day off, but sometimes I get Friday off. So we'll see. Anyway, I'll be catching you later, I hope. And I hope you continue to have a great weekend and a good holiday season.